Hi, I'm Marjorie Busby. I'm going to do a Delectable Crystals block. This is a block that I've used in a quilt that I made, and I designed it specifically so that I could cut it using the AccuQuilt Go cutter. This is the Delectable Crystals quilt. This quilt is made with exactly 3 blocks. One is a half square triangle, and the other 2 blocks are made from a half square triangle, and they also include this 2" by 6.5" strip added at the end. But the 6.5" triangle is cut to make this block. The first thing we're going to talk about are the dies that we're going to use. And we're going to use the 6.5" half square triangle and the 2" strip cutter. Now you'll notice that I have marked my dies, and the marks I make extend beyond the blade. To make half square triangles, I take a light 7.5" width of fabric strip and a dark 7.5" width of fabric strip, and I put them right sides together, matching the selvages. Then I lay that selvage past the line, the registration line that I've created on my die, and I fan fold that across and back. And because this is 2 colors right sides together, I've got exactly 6 layers of fabric, and that is as much as I want to run through the die at any given time. So you can see that I've checked very carefully. I folded as close to the line as I can, and now I'm going to cut. And I generally let the fabric trail out behind if I'm cutting a wide strip. The next step is cutting the crystal blocks from the half square triangles that you've made. You should have 64 of these. You want to count out 32 of the half square triangles and set them aside, because they will be used exactly as they are. The remaining 32 squares will be cut into mirror images to make the crystal blocks. And we will use the 2" die to make these. So you will have 16 squares cut in one direction and 16 squares cut as a mirror image. Let me show you how to lay these out. We put this with the corner very carefully against the blade and the entire edge against the blade. And I have my horizontal line so I can double check my placement to make sure. But the key is to get them exactly against the blade. And it is also very important to have these as mirror images. I hope you can see that from the video, that they are mirror images. And I usually have room to lay out 5 or 6 of each block, so that would be a total of about 10 to 12 blocks that I can cut at a time. But for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to put 4 on here. I put the mat over these blocks very carefully. And then I send it through the cutter. Once this goes through, I bring it back to the other side and lay the mat. I'm going to lay it mat side down and set my die aside. And then I throw away the waste and I stack my pieces. And at this point, I'm going to begin to stack them as they will be sewn. So I shift them in opposite directions. And you can see here that we truly do have a mirror image. Once you've cut the crystal blocks, the next thing you want to do is to cut those 2 width of fabric strips that are 6.5 inches to make your 2-inch by 6.5 inch strips that go on the edge of the block. You take this to the machine and stitch your blocks together so that you would have 16 in each direction plus 32 half square triangles. Then you will need to download the quilt layout, and once you've downloaded the quilt layout, you can lay your quilt out, sew the blocks together, and you're ready to quilt it. Happy quilting!